right. Well, thank you so much again for coming out and being with us. You're so busy.
It's actually a stupid amount of busy.
Yeah.
Between like the kids, the move. Like I said, I just went to a conference last week.
Yeah.
Like it's just, we weren't anticipating moving. We were trying to stay local. So match day, that video was that shock was real.
Yeah.
I was not anticipating what that envelope held for me.
Yeah.
And the immediate change that we had to, I looked for houses like that day.
Wow.
When we got home from match day, I just pulled up the computer and started looking for houses.
Yeah.
So sorry, I matched in Chicago, so we have to move, and I start June 23rd, so that date is barreling towards me.
Yes. Yeah.
And residency is going to start whether my family is settled or not. So
yeah, that's right.
I need to get them moved and
yeah. How about you tell us, like, what was your journey like getting to medical school?
So I wanted to be a doctor since I was 8. I grew up in inner city Baltimore, went to Baltimore City Public Schools, and it's not quite setting you up for that kind of success, at least not when I was in those schools in the 80s and 90s. When I was in high school, I had a classmate, she did the separate, where she did basic, then she came back and did her senior year, and then she went to AIT after.
Yeah.
So she was telling me, I went to basic, I have all the benefits of being in the military, what they were, and I knew that was just a way that I could get the GI Bill and go to college. So I joined the November of my senior year, because I had to wait until I was 17, so I wasn't 17 yet. So I joined when I was 17 for the express purpose of going to college. I was going to do 4 years, get out. But I loved it. I loved serving. I just have the personality type where that structure just works for me.
Yeah.
Clearly, yeah. And I served for 10 years. I deployed twice. My husband and I literally have been to war together. I got out in February and I was in college in May. The things that you have to do to get into medical school, you have to shadow, volunteer, research, all those things. So I was doing the research and discovered that maybe I am a scientist. I don't know. So when I was applying to medical school, the mentor that I was working on her research projects with, she was like, do an MD PhD. And I'm like, what even is that? The first person that I met with a PhD was in college. Like, I don't even know what a PhD is. Mm-hmm. But she encouraged me to apply. I applied MD PhD only. And I got into Maryland, and I got to come home for the first time since I left when I was 17. So yeah, I did the MD PhD program at Maryland. It took a little longer because I had to start my PhD over halfway through, but it's paid off because I matched into my dream program where I wanted to be, and yeah.
Which is?
Oh, sorry, cardiothoracic surgery at Northwestern.
Yeah. Woo! And so, if you could maybe share a little bit more about what that is, because we just know that's a big word. And then how did you get what brought you to cardiothoracic surgery?
I've always wanted to be a surgeon.
Sure.
When I went into medical school, I knew that's what I wanted to do. It's just I didn't know what type of surgery I wanted to do.
Sure.
One of the lessons I learned from being in the Army is mentorship is incredibly important. So I had a team of mentors throughout medical school, and each of them gave me different types of advice. And one of them was like, why don't you just try on some surgery specialties and just see. So in the third year of medical school, you do all the rotations. So all of my electives that I had were different surgical subspecialties. And one of them was cardiothoracic surgery. So cardiothoracic surgeons operate in the thorax from the neck to the diaphragm, sometimes in the abdomen, but that's not where I like to be. So it's literally heart, lung, esophagus surgery. I like this field because I like critically ill patients. I like taking care of people that are acutely ill. I love the anatomy and physiology of the thorax, and then the surgery is just delicate, and you have to actually have good technique. So all those things like just works with my personality. I mean, you can do any kind of surgery that you want. It's just finding what inspires you, what you like. And then on top of that, lots of research questions, because of course I'm a scientist. So my first day on thoracic surgery service is like, no, this is what I want to do. And then I met with the program director like that week to figure out like, how do I do this? Because I was late to the game. Most people, when they want to do cardiothoracic surgery, they start first, second year of med school, publishing papers, getting involved in the discipline and things like that. I was halfway through my third year. And it was in match, you have to apply for, so I think I figured it out in like June, and then that September is when I applied. Okay. So it was a lot of work getting letters, getting research exposure, just completely pivoting my application because I was applying to plastics. That's what I was going to do.
What did you do in the Army again?
I was a 35 Tango. I was MI.
Okay.
So half of our career we worked on drones, UAVs, and then the other half, like I ran a skiff, a shop in a skiff. So completely nothing to do with medicine whatsoever.
Yeah.
But that's, like, I didn't know what I was doing. I joined the Army, and I just took the ASVAB, and they were like, you qualify for this job. I'm like, okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
I loved it. I loved it.
Yeah.
It's why I stuck around so long. It's why I re-enlisted so many times, because I thoroughly enjoyed my service and what I was able to do.
Yeah, I agree. I was in mine before too, and now I'm like back operational because I missed it that much. Yeah. But like it's weird how like MI exposes you to so many different things. Like I went and did my doctorate for psychology. And
I saw that.
Yeah, and then now I'm back. It's like crazy. But I'd be remiss if I didn't say, so like hearing you talk about your story, right, and like all of your experiences, it seems like everything has kind of shaped you for this moment. So just wondering like if you could kind of share a little bit more about that. I mean, like literally I'm listening to like some of these details and I'm like, you're an MI professional and you're entrusted with like such grave like information, right? And you're entrusted like just with so much, right? And then leading soldiers and then having to and then having to like keep them afloat, if you will, like deal in the thick of it. And then you're saying that you love like the thoracic, like right, and you like critically ill people and like and patients rather, but then like I'm sure you've seen that in deployed environments, right? So could you share?
I just try to live every day like really intentionally. At the end of it, it all like looks like everything just worked out. Every single thing that I've done has been done like intentionally. There's no way that you can accomplish things without being effective with your time and being intentional with what you do and having a plan.
Yep.
So like yes, everything it looks like I did a lot of these things, but yeah, I did them with intention. And this was the plan. Like the plan was to be a surgeon. Now to be a heart surgeon was a late discovery, but the plan was always surgery. Like I said, since I was 8. So every move I made was done intentionally.
Sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I can imagine that these roads, like these paths that you have taken, like have not been easy.
No.
Yeah. You have a beautiful family.
Thank you.
And they're all like dynamic. But yeah,
dynamic's a word.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a word.
Could you share more about like what has that journey looked like, and if there were challenges or bumps in the road, and then how did you navigate that?
We have 3 kids.
Yeah.
They're 16, 15, and 12. We homeschooled them at first while we were in college, because we both got out around the same time we went to college. So we homeschooled them until I think our oldest was in like 5th grade. And really, once my husband started working and I was getting more involved in applying to medical school and things like that, we finally reached a point where we were like, okay, we can't homeschool them anymore. So just putting them in school. They all played sports. There was one point where each of them were on 3 different soccer teams. So we were driving to 3 different places on weekends. Like, you take this kid, I'll take this kid, then we'll come back and get that kid. They're all very social. So they're literally just, I would go to pick them up from school one day, and kids would just jump in my car.
Yeah.
Like, they would just come home with me. And I'm like, okay, I guess we're having a sleepover today. All 3 of them. They all very social. They love having friends over, and I don't mind them having friends over because that means they're in the house and then they're having fun. They all have their own social calendars. They all have their own things. So I was literally writing my dissertation like on the soccer field. Like, but that's just what I need to do. I wanted to be present. I wanted to be there for them and be their mom. So that meant if I had to take my laptop with me and write papers while I'm watching my son play soccer, that's fine. They're really good kids. They're really resilient, but they do have 2 veterans for parents. So yeah, they're good kids. The mom part wasn't the hard part. It was the going to church, coming to the lab to check on mice, and then bringing them with me, and then now they know where my lab is. They know where the bathrooms are. They know how to get on the Wi-Fi at my school. It was that part. It was making them do part of their childhood while I'm doing this. I didn't want them to feel that their mom was in med school. I didn't want them to feel that their childhood was limited because their mom was doing hard things. So my goal for them was always to make sure that they were taken care of first, and then if that meant doing experiments in the middle of the night or on weekends or whatever, as long as they got to the birthday party, they got to the soccer game, that was fine. So it was more so mom was first, and then the work was second.
I'm just listening to this.
That's why they still like me.
Yeah, and that's great. That's
They
good.
still like me, which was my goal. It's like, if I can graduate and my kids still like me, I think I did okay.
Yeah.
They still like me.
Yeah, that's the gold star. I mean, I'm just listening to this though. I'm like, how do you maintain a high enough GPA throughout education to be able to get through an esteemed medical degree, PhD, match to a BA, match
No, I
to
have an MBA.
Oh, MBA, right? Yeah, match to cardiothoracic surgery. Like, everybody's not doing that.
No.
And you're the first to be accepted to cardiothoracic.
I'm the first Black person
Yeah.
that they've accepted in their program, and then I'm the only one that matched cardiothoracic surgery in my med school class.
Yeah.
I think 3 of us applied.
How do you do all of that?
I treated med school like a job, because I told myself, like, if I worked full time, like, my kids wouldn't see me all day. So I would go in very early. We only had lecture from 8 to 12, and then I would study from 12 to 5. But when I got home, like, I was mom. That if they wanted to watch a movie, I have pictures of us, like, coloring together. I have my anatomy coloring book. They have their coloring books, because they were like 6.
That works.
Yeah, they were like 6, 5, and 3 when I started med school. Because I had my son my first semester in undergrad. So they were 6, 5, and 3 when I started med school. So we watched Frozen and Moana so many times my first 2 years in med school. Like, my son one day tattooed himself like Maui, and I'm like, okay, if that's what you want to do. And then, like, once I got to the bed, I would study again at night, and then just do it again the next day. They say med school is like getting 2 pancakes a day. If you don't eat your pancakes, you get 2 more the next day, and then if you don't keep up with eating your pancakes, they stack up. So you have to study every day. There's no way to get around you can't not study. Yeah. So that's how I did it. I treated it like work. I literally, I had to make sure my phone couldn't ring while I was on campus. I would have to tell them, like, look, if you can't find something in the house, please just wait until later to call me about it. Like, there's one point my phone rang in the middle of lecture, and he was asking me where something was. I'm like, bro, I am in medical school. I don't know what you think I do all day, but it's not to locate things for you in the kitchen. Like, please, just let me be while I'm learning.
Yeah.
At least wait till after 12 and call. Like, it was a lot of setting up boundaries.
Okay.
Literally, when I get within a radius of campus, my phone goes on do not disturb.
Wow.
So that I have to focus on what I'm doing. The PhD was harder because it's not a fixed schedule. You plan your experiments and things like that. So I would be literally pipetting, and they would call, and it would interrupt like my flow state, and I would forget, like, I'm loading this 96 well plate with my samples, and I can't talk to the school about my son forgot his lunch. So that was harder for me, was the PhD. Med school is regimented. The train's gonna go whether you show up or not. But the PhD is a little harder because you have to set your schedule and figure things out for yourself. So that was a little trickier.
Gotcha. How did the military prepare you for all of these things?
This calendar, listen, my calendar is color-coded. It's shared to every device in our house.
Okay.
Everybody can put their stuff on it, and just being, like, if it's on the calendar, it happens. So that part of the military, definitely, the time, I hate being late. I hate wasting time. And so everything has to be done, like, this way. My favorite thing to do when I was in the Army was mentor. I loved counseling soldiers. So I still do that. I do a lot of mentorship. I talk to a lot of, like, pre-med students, elementary to high school. I'm involved in mentorship programs at my school. I mentor through social media. Somebody just emailed me yesterday. It was like, hey, can you read this letter of rec for me? And
wow.
Like, I read resumes.
Yeah.
There's no point in, like, gaining all this knowledge and experience and then not sharing, because literally I had no one. I'm the first physician in my family. I'm the first PhD in my family, in the history of my family. So no one could really tell me, like, how do you apply to medical school? Like, how do you do that? What do you look for? How do you interview a school and make sure that it fit? It's going to be a good fit.
Yeah.
So that's what I do all day, is mentor.
Yeah.
And just it's funny. Someone asked me, like, how do you already have a house in Chicago? I'm like, this is not my first time moving across the country.
Yeah.
I've done this multiple times.
That's true.
I know how to pack up a house and move to another state.
Yeah.
I did that in the Army, like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
And I moved to another country multiple times. Like, I knew what to do.
Yeah.
That's a lived experience that my classmates don't have.
Literally, we connected with you. I connected with you on Instagram like days after your match day, and then I just watched from afar.
I post in real time.
Yes,
and
you
so
do.
People ask, like, how are you doing? I'm like, you see it.
Yeah.
That's why I do it, because when I started medical school, our class was 160. There were like 8 of us over 30. There was we had a row, we called the old people row. It was all of us that were second career people.
Oh wow.
So it was a good chunk of us. There were 3 of us that were parents. There were 3 of us that were veterans. There were 13 black women, and I was the only one that was all of those things.
Wow.
So I was like, I can't be the only one doing, like, trying to do this. So that's when I made my Instagram public. Just to, if you fit any one of these boxes, like, I can try and help show how to do this. And I've met so many moms that are going through medical school that are doing these hard things. One of my friends just matched into pediatric orthosurgery, and I'm just like, girl, what? And she's a single mom. So that's why I share my story. That's why I share it so publicly, is because even if you hit any of these little boxes that I fit in, like, I can show you that this is how you do it.
Yeah. I'm curious, like, what is your anchor besides your family?
Church.
Okay.
Church. church.
Can you share more about that?
Yeah, I go to church every Sunday.
Okay.
I sing on the choir. I run the media production stuff at my church. They're really panicking because I leave. I told them my last Sunday is the 31st, and they're like, "Who's gonna?" I'm like, I gotta go. I gotta go to residency.
Yeah,
it's not gonna be me.
Yeah. I got this thing I gotta go do.
Yeah, so I was really proud of myself. In third year, I only missed 2 Sundays because I was on call, but I'm in church every Sunday.
Wow.
My faith is incredibly important to me.
Yeah.
Honestly, like, I serve in my church every Sunday because that is, I'm fully blessed, and I know that I am.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the only way that I know that to serve God is to be in that church every Sunday. Yeah, that is what keeps me, like, grounded.
Yeah, to the audience, but if you could say, like, impart any wisdom or any piece of advice to currently serving members of the military, or even just folks who are thinking about considering coming into the military. You know, they've heard from all of our hardworking recruiters and who are like trying to get them to join. But like, can you speak to them, and like, what would your words of encouragement be?
I think the reason why I'm able to do hard things is because I served.
Yeah.
Someone asked me, why are you able to just know that you can get this done? I'm like, I've literally had my confidence in myself has been tested in the Army.
Wow.
You accomplish so much in the military, things every day, that it just gets to the point where it's like, of course I can get this done.
Sure.
Because I've done so many other things. I've literally ran a rear detachment of just 99 undeployable soldiers for a year. And that's tracking all their medical appointments, all their legal stuff, just a huge tracker. But then my database for my PhD project, I know how to work Excel and work with large databases because I did it when I was in the military. So I would say you learn what you're capable of when you're challenged. And the Army will definitely give you the ability to believe in yourself and what you can accomplish.
Yeah, that's the bar. That's the bar. Can you say it again? You learn what you're capable of.
Yeah, when you're getting challenged, because there's at the end of the day, the work has to get done.
Yeah.
So you being confused, or not knowing the policy or the procedure or whatever, how to do it is inconsequential because the work has to get done.
Yeah.
So you learn how to rely on yourself and how to overcome challenges and obstacles, but to the point where they don't feel like obstacles anymore. Mm. And that's definitely what my 10 years of service did for me.
Thank you so much. Why that face?
I don't know. I hate talking about this.
Oh, no. I mean, it's such an inspiration. I mean, truly. Yeah. I mean, even if you don't want to go to medical school, I think hopefully this gets out to so many people. And if you're in the military and you're thinking, like, what's life look like after the military, here's a great example.
Yeah.
I really loved, like, the piece that you talked about, like, getting connected to somebody that's like that from them.
No, mentorship is important.
And
I've
them pouring into you.
I've literally, like, chased people down to, like, no, I need you in my little mentor cohort, please.
For sure. Yeah.
And I mean, these are people that have, like I said, my program was 10 years. So they've known me since I was a first year medical student, and still continue to support me.
Yeah.
But I tell people all the time, mentorship is important. You can't get through this process by yourself.
Yeah. Thank you.